So the PCIe Capture Card game has changed a little bit, and AverMedia sent over me the Live Gamer 4K and the Live Streamer. Pretty cool products actually, and the Live Gamer 4K is one of the best PCIe capture cards out there right now, especially for its pass-through capabilities. Its capture capabilities right now are also really good. They match a lot of other PCIe capture cards out there, but the pass-through options for this are really nice, especially for console gamers and streamers, because most of the time you can't get that refresh rate to your main monitor without a good pass-through option. And full disclosure, AverMedia did send these to me, but they're not paying me or anything, so I can say whatever I want to say about it. Ultimately, this capture card has really nice features, and I'm going to go through that in this video. Now, one thing to point out is you obviously do get the capture card itself, which is on the box as the image, but you also get a HDMI cord, which is quite nice. This actually says 8K, so it's gonna withstand whatever you want to do. Now, often if you're using a console for this, you're gonna get an HDMI with that, so you don't need to buy any extra cables. That's quite nice. Now, the Live Gamer 4K 2.0, its name is more specific as the GC575. That's just to be more specific about the product, but ultimately, the reason why it's called 2.1 is it supports PCIe 2.1 HDMI, which is quite nice. Often there's just 2.0 HDMIs, which sure are great, but they're starting to get a little bit outdated. So HDMI 2.1 is kind of the next best push. You know, almost like there's the new next gen consoles. That's kind of the same thing with HDMI cables. And it's nice that they include that option with this capture card. Now, one of my favorite features about the Live Gamer 4K is its pass-through options, as I've mentioned. You can do 4K at 144 Hz refresh rate, you can do 4K at 120 refresh rate, and you can also even get 240 Hz at 1440p 2K. Now, you can even get an astonishing 360 Hz at 1080p, which is just regular HD. You know, a lot of people don't really care about getting that competitive advantage at 4K or 2K. So if you have a 1080p monitor and you want to really get those extra frames at 360 Hz refresh rate, you can do that. Nice thing is that this supports HDR and VRR pass-through, so you don't get that weird banding and image clipping essentially when you're playing a game, simply because that when your console sends the information to your monitor, sometimes it doesn't get all the information all at once fast enough, which causes those images to break in half. That can be quite frustrating, and that's where VRR really comes in handy. Now, if you like looks, then RGB is going to be a nice thing on this capture card. You can synchronize it to MSI or Gigabyte, any other internal parts that you have from those brands. I think that list is expanding as well. This obviously is a very new capture card and was just released this month, so they're going to continue to add more support for that as time goes down the road. But it's really nice if you want to have your system look really good. Now, installing this capture card was pretty straightforward. Just put it into your PCIe capture card slot in your computer. This is for desktop. They don't work for laptops just simply because you don't have the PCIe option to plug it into. So this is where desktop options are really come in handy for this type of capture card, is you just plug it in right there. Then what you do is run your HDMI from your console to the input on the capture card, and that will be your capture in your desktop computer. So you can import that to your software of choice. Make sure when you create that video capture device, select the correct input, and I would recommend doing custom settings as these custom settings. That way you can get full control at 4K if you want to do 4K. It's not really going to matter, but it's still nice to have that extra quality, and you get really crisp quality on your stream. Now remember, you've got to make sure that you can hear this. So if you don't have this crazy audio setup with a dual PC console stream or even single, which I have done videos in the past, I'll link one of those videos in the top right. But if you don't have audio setup for this, you can simply go to the audio properties, go to the advanced audio properties, and make sure on that audio channel that's coming in through the capture card, you can do monitor and output. That way you can hear it in your headphones and your stream can hear it on the stream. So your audio will be going into the capture card through your stream, but also from your stream software into your headset so you can hear your game as well. That's really nice. Don't forget that you don't have to necessarily use the pass-through from the back of the capture card into your monitor. You can always just do a full screen projector from your OBS onto your main monitor. That way, you know, it's pretty easy and you don't have to disconnect that monitor from your computer. That's one drawback about having pass-through options, is you can't use that monitor for both your console and your computer at the same time. You can only switch between the two. With using full screen projector in your software of choice, you can still have that connected to your computer, and yeah, it's easy. And I haven't really noticed any visual quality loss at this. Then again, I'm not doing anything competitive. So if you want to use the pass-through option and you want to get competitive, that might be a better option for you. But if you're just a casual gamer, there's really no issue with this, and I don't see any quality issues when you do the full screen projector from your stream software to your main monitor. So I quite like that feature. Nice thing is with this capture card, you don't need any drivers, just plug it into your computer and that's it. It works just fine. You can even use it for your DSLR. So connect your DSLR to the back of the capture card on the in port and use it just like a webcam. That works too. Also a really nice way to use this. A little bit overkill if I'm going to be honest. The Elgato Camlink 4K is a lot cheaper and does just the same thing, but it's totally up to you. This obviously does open up some options so you have more to do with it. Now this isn't just limited to consoles. You can have a dual PC stream setup with this capture card. Now there's obviously some other audio things you've got to deal with, but as far as video goes, you can connect your gaming PC to the in port on the capture card, have this capture card in your streaming PC, and there you go. It's pretty much that easy. Now with audio, you do have to run a separate line into your streaming PC, and I have videos on how to do that. Link is in the top right in the cards. I'll also put them at the end of this video if you're interested. Now, if that breaks the bank a little bit too much, I would completely understand, and AverMedia has an alternative. They also released the Livestreamer Ultra HD. It's really good at 180 bucks. If you're not too concerned about the pass-through capabilities that the Live Gamer has, you know, with 4K, 144 Hertz refresh rate pass-through, then this does give a better alternative at a cheaper price. So this one has 4K 60 Hertz refresh rate pass-through. You can do 2K 60 HDR pass-through. You can even do 1080p at 120 Hertz refresh rate. And that's HDR. So that's actually quite nice. You can get up to 120 refresh rate pass-through with this option. So that's quite cool. Now this does support 2K and 4K in your stream software during your capture. So, you know, when you get the signal into here and then put it into OBS, you can still get it at 4K. So that's still quite nice. So ultimately, do I think it's worth it? Yes, I really do like the pass-through capabilities of this guy. And they're really great. There's, as far as I can tell so far, no other capture card that has pass-through options like this one does. Capture capabilities, however, they're pretty much the same as some of Elgato's PCIe capture cards, so there's no edge on that. However, it's still nice to have the options that this one does have. The cheap alternative is really nice, especially 180 bucks, cheaper than a lot of other PCIe capture cards at this quality. I think AverMedia, this is going to be a sweet spot, and a lot more people are going to enjoy this significantly more than most other PCIe capture cards. If this video is helpful, subscribe and stick around. Leave a like, that'd be appreciated. And they also did send me a little secret over there. It's just in the corner. If you want to see that review and just kind of break it down and how it works, you know, subscribe and stick around, and maybe I'll put that video out pretty soon. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see that. Other than that, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.